I mean, I'm just a big fan of the crit hoodwink, to be honest. I think that goes a long way towards getting the victory. And we saw the stats in terms of team v team matchups. What was it, a 78% win rate that Falcons has over BB team? That's pretty devastating to have to come back from that sort of a deficit. You know, over time, there are just teams that have each other's number all the way back in like TI3 days, even when Alliance were having like their dominant period. Fnatic seemed to be able to get the W against them, and it really feels like Falcons are kind of that way towards BB team.
Yeah, it's crazy because you take a look. I mean, they haven't lost this series. They've only tied in 2 best-of-2s. That's it. So besides that, we've seen a Dream League Grand Final where they 3-0'd, and we saw the ESL 1 Birmingham Grand Finals where Falcon 3-0'd BB team. So this has to be, and eventually there's going to be that mental block there, and maybe at least, again, this is group stages, so maybe this is where BB team can find that victory over Falcons. At least, again, it's only been ties so far, but maybe this time it could be the first 2-0.
Can we also just add to the level of spice as well that, remember, these two teams are, hold on, team fight maybe. These two teams are 2-2 because of Team Zero's performance in their group, right? Team Zero are 3-1, I believe. I don't think they've played their next matchup yet. They've got nouns at the end of the day. So this becomes really important because you kind of want to be facing one of those bottom 2 teams in one of the other groups, right? Like, if it's a 1-1, you're going to a tiebreaker for sure. You want a clean 2-0 sweep.
We'll see if they're going to be able to get that 2-0 sweep, or if tiebreakers will be forced out here from either side. Jenkins was speaking a lot about the Sand King in particular, with the damage output that this hero can get to the late game. How do you feel like teams and I guess other heroes are able to address him to stop the Sand King from getting there? What are kind of some of your favorite ways to address this hero?
Well, they were mentioning a bunch of different possibilities in the draft on the panel, which I agreed with, right? Like, just bully him from afar, make sure that he doesn't get off to that good start, because late game Sand King is just an absolute menace. You can't let him get to that stage. So really just, I want to see a bunch of early-ish rotations. They've got a pretty decent hero in the Grimstroke to enable that sort of thing, like stuns on stuns on stuns. Not the tankiest hero to be able to begin with, but if you give him some time, he can certainly get out of control.
And what are one of the side lanes that you have your eyes on currently? Is there one you feel like there's going to be a lot of action? I mean, I know the panel was speaking about top being maybe a little bit frustrating for the Conquer, but the Hoodwink could offset that, being a strong laner. And then bottom, of course, Slardar Grimstroke. They instantly said that this is a great combo between the two.
Yeah, I'd say the bottom lane is probably where there's going to be a little bit more action happening, just because of like early-ish timings on a bunch of stuff, right? Like, you see the Tusk, even when he hits to like level 3, you can make so much action happen, especially when, considering we talked about the Luna last game, right? In what you're able to do with more points in the Lucent Beam. It just means that there's going to be a whole lot more harass going on.
Well, what has kind of changed as well with the drinking buddies? Because I know the tag team was still a facet that a lot of Tusk were going for, but over the past month or maybe even a little bit longer, we have seen that change.
I think it's just like that little bit of extra movement, right? Over the past couple of days, we've seen like people moved out of the way of like Marana arrows because of the drinking buddies. It's like a pseudo blink, like a pathway to blink, I guess you could say. Allows you to get into range for the snowball. And when you're going these ranged heroes, especially like your Wind Ranger, your Marana, even Luna to a lesser extent. I love the panel suggestion of the Gyrocopter as well. Drinking buddies is OP. Like, you max that out plus 95 damage that you're able to get, which is just nuts.
Let's see if that's going to be able to come into play for Skeeter. He can find the damage that they need for them to get over the finish line. Pretty good start overall. We are seeing mid lane GPK is honestly demolishing Melrine. I'm 29 compared to the 12-1, so I think maybe it was fear that brought up even the question of if the DK was actually going to be able to do enough to the Sand King. I can't remember if it was him or someone else, but it seems like it's a very good start, and maybe this is a reason why Melrine is forced to start to drag the wave.
Yeah, I think GPK has just been doing a phenomenal job in terms of just outplaying. This is just getting tons of denies, tons of last hits, using the stun to perfection, and yeah, securing a very nice start for him and his team.
And you're going to
Mars
be...
doing a good job of staying far away as well. Like Toronto, Tokyo, I haven't really seen that much harass coming out against this conquer. Like the change to having this Admiral's Rum as the innate is just nuts, right? Like every, 60 seconds, you basically are just taking 20% less damage, which is kind of silly, especially considering like the sort of stuff that you're building up into, right? The phase boots, so you have that extra movement speed plus the rum bonus speed as well. It's a lot to have to deal with, and you just need to be so committal. It should be a pretty standard build-up, right? Phase boots, one, maybe another bracer straight into the blade mail, so that, you know, if you do start to consider going on to this conquer, it's going to take a lot of energy and you're going to take a lot of damage going back the other way as a result of it.
Have you been a fan of like the scepter for the Conquer? I think we saw it yesterday in one of the games we covered. I haven't seen if that's been the build on other Conquers. I'm
a fan of it. I think it can be like, you know, 4th, 5th item. Certainly not as much as before when there was the Torrent Storm as Toronto, Tokyo. It's getting gone on a little bit here, but able to drop down the Tombstone for now. I'm seeing more like Octarine Core. Basically just enable yourself to start spamming things out, even just reducing the cooldown of that Admiral's Rum so that you can become just that little bit tankier for yourself.
This is... You got to be so happy though. Again, the fact that you pick the Conquer early on, we see the Undying to try and counter it, but that's where Crit's hero was able to come into play. And maybe this is like a big reason why he went for the tree bounce trick shot as well on the Hoodwink, just to try and help secure the lane, because we have seen the other facet be buffed slightly over time. We're seeing it really be a really big assistance for Amar. I mean, 32 and 4.
He's doing a fantastic job as well, and like you said, it allows you to trade really well with the Undying, and you know, with Toronto Tokyo being forced all the way back to base, Crit's just using that tree bounce trick shot onto Saksa whenever Conquer clears out the creep wave. There's some nice little synergy there with the Tidebringer, right? If there's no other creeps for it to be bouncing to, it's only going to be going towards Psyker.
Yeah, what's going on? Is he the pro player with the most name changes? Epileptic Kid? You started off as... Like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
Nightfall, yeah.
Stuff. You know what? Some people are just obsessed with changing their name a lot of the time. I mean, you've even got Yatro, who's now Radan, right? Which is, what is it, like, something, Dota All Night, I think is what it actually stands for.
Opportunity for them to make it go on to him on the mid lane. Fire Strike, it's not going to be able to keep him live. Snaking, nice attempt, but it's not going to matter. GPK will strike first. Cool attempt from Crit to try and drag the wave, but with the double slow, they will catch up to the Hoodwink. So it's going to be another kill for them to find. It does delay the tower push. I mean, the Elder Dragon form is out. He did use it with the Arcane Rune though in GPK, so it's going to be back up in 35 seconds, but at least you will stall the tower from going down.
I feel like that's going to be a really important thing, right? Like, you need to protect your towers. You've got this Wind Ranger that needs to be scaling. I mean, she's doing a fantastic job in the lane, right? But you just need to make sure that you're staying far ahead of this lineup that is going to have, you know, a bunch of these saves, a bunch of these, not necessarily auras, but there is a decent amount of damage reduction and just damage avoidance, I would probably say is the better term for it, as Amar going for a bit of a solo kill here onto Toronto Tokyo.
Should be able to find it. Maybe the power shot's slow. Okay. Toronto Tokyo again, though. A trip back to base, or maybe even snipe from Skeeter. Is he going to be able to see him? TP out. Oh, he gets him. And now with the Wind Ranger's in some trouble. Yeah, Psyker. Oh, and you got 3 heroes surrounding you. With 10 for the Wind Run away.
He's dead.
Another one. Oh, Snake kicks it. Make it 4. Amar's going to clean up the kill with the Conquer second net worth.
They say, you know what, you can rotate a bunch of people mid, we can rotate a bunch of people top. I think that's just as effective.
The solo kill into save. The use of the epicenter early on, not enough to be able to bring down the Grimstroke. O-Strike's up if he's going to be able to find his target, but not the case. And now GPK can continue to chase another Breathe Fire. Let's see if the damage is going to be enough. Might wait for the Dragon Tail. It's back up and available, but Melring just survives.
Ooh, wasn't expecting that. A couple of heroes up top, able to take out Amar. Just a good shackle, I think. Okay. All right, evening things out a little bit. The bounce back team.
The bounce back team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got plenty. I've done my research.
All right. Have to hear a couple more. Can you say the bounce back team though? You're putting the T first? I don't know.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay. some others hopefully come out. You know, if they have a good game, maybe you got some if they have a bad game as well.
They can bounce back, exactly. It's very versatile.
Moment, no worry about potentially needing to bounce back. They're the ones playing from ahead. Nero might be in some danger. Of course, we see the beams maxed out. The Eclipse will be required to get the kill. They do save. The tower, you put the TP. TP's going to be cancelled. We've been Toronto, Tokyo. Oh, I'm scared. Okay, never mind. Yeah, you got the reinforcements, but it potentially just gives more kills to Skeeter. Like, where are you running? Shots back up. It's going to be triple kill. I mean, we saw this last game. It wasn't 3 kills that the Luna got, but you got to respect the damage from this hero early.
They weren't tuning into the A stream. That is their big blunder team coming through there for that extra movement through. I mean, you just see the damage output that's available on top of the Lucent Beam. It was the right idea, but yeah, Miro, I was wondering why he wasn't popping that healing salve as he was looking to try and go in for that sort of play. Speaking of,
very close.
Almost able to catch him out there. You just see like all of this damage starting to come through. Snaking using the drinking buddies, giving plus 70 damage over to this Luna. You have to consider, like, you know how quickly games can end when you've got a Luna on your team, right? As maybe able to catch GPK.
See if they're going to have the damage. Melrine will be in with the epicenter. Skeeter's going to be here as well. So with GPK, 1700 health they have to go through. But the Dragon Knight, I mean, he destroyed Melrine in the lane, but this Sand King has done a great job. He's got 86 last hits. The start was looking so poor. I'll hold that because bottom lane, it does look like 3 heroes. BB team are going to be able to at least find Snaking, but that is not the valuable kill they were wanting, and Snake will make him work for it. Oh, I think, no way. Are you serious?
Easy. That's why people are going drinking buddies. You can't do that shit with tag team.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So, GPK, again, does so well mid, and then you see he falls behind Melrine, who now has got enough gold for Blink. They're the one that get the tier 1 tower mid first. I mean, Amar did get the deny, so it's kind of traded back and forth, but you would not expect that, especially into the DK matchup. And now they're already starting to move top as well. They've got the catapult wave, you've got Skitter nearby too, so it's a great start for them. Finally, they'll be able to get Snake King. But with Psycho also moving down.
Unless... he gets away. There was a creep wave right there. I was thinking, you know, just maybe.
I was going to say, do they need to bring GPK down to help with the tower? Looks like he's going to rotate down nonetheless. Do you defend this if you're Falcons?
Nah, I don't think they necessarily need to. Like, you need that epicenter for a big part of your team fight. Yeah, you've got the boat, yeah, you've got all this sort of stuff. Maybe they'll, like, not TP too many people in, but I feel like it's the sort of thing that you're not wanting to commit too many of your own, just because they're going to be able to rotate to the other side of the map if you do that, right? And I feel like BB team are probably a little bit more greedy at this point, like a little bit more item dependent. You can do so much with Melrine just through his item set, right? His skill set, rather. You can do a lot of with just the Eclipse online. You can do a lot with just the boat online. You don't really need these like 5 or 4 different items to be able to get a lot of effectiveness. It's a very different story for BBT.
Net lead, 12 minutes in. And we'll probably see the gang squad come out. Melrine with the blink, Creep with the sharpshooter.
Good scan.
Scan will be on the mark from BB team. Got a great observe ward to try and use. They're trying to defend their high ground, I should say. And read they're going to be able to get away.
Look like Skitter's going to be able to farm all that much, although they get the jump here onto save. Very important target to be able to take out, and they do so in pretty quick fashion. I wonder how long they're going to stick around, because that Drinking Buddies is available once more. They might just wait for the glyph to be forced out before committing it, though. There we go. This is what I like to see, you know, a lot more aggression. Make sure you're able to get in before a lot of these, like, more defensive items start to come out. Like we've been saying, the BB team is quite greedy with their heroes that they've got here. And so, you know, if you can look to take away a lot of that map presence, if you can look to fight before they've got a lot of their key items, it's going to put you in a really good spot.
Vision early on with that kill is going to be a really important thing for them. I believe they just smoked right
Wasn't
next
under
to the
it.
double observer. It wasn't?
Oh, the second one maybe, yeah, sorry. The one to the south side caught him.
Looks like they will give them enough time to get away. Snaking. Gonna try and chase the toss down, but I mean, you see what they're getting across the map there. Maybe even thinking about coming through the portal is Crit and Melrin, so there actually might be a potential fight down bottom.
Got a decent amount of vision in this area. They want to make sure that they...
Can't run to the high
don't
ground.
line
Already
up.
set up a GPK. Jumps over the top with the Inkspell combination. Melrin getting focused down currently. They should be able to deal with the Sand King. Drinking Buddy gets some distance away. Now with the turn. DK taking a lot of damage. X-Mark Amar's going to get the finishing blow with the Tidebringer, and back in they go. Psyker's here to try and turn the tides, but the use of the ultimate, it's a lot of AoE damage, and that's enough. Psyker, that's what they needed with the Wind Ranger getting into the middle. Maelstrom damage tears them apart. Save gets the triple kill out of all the heroes. What was looking like it could have been a bit of a difficult fight for them, running into a choke point. They blinked first, got the initiation before Melrin was able to jump in.
And that tombstone lasted for ages as well. It was a lot of damage being put through from there, and while that fight was happening, Skidder still had 20 seconds left on his TP, so wasn't able to join despite the fact that he had that amp damage rune. It would have been an entirely different story if he was part of that, not just because of the Lunar Blessing aura, but just the pure damage that would have been able to come out from that eclipse.
It's going to be, honestly, not a bad person to get a lot of gold as well from save. Instant Ag Shard picked up. And this is a potential Scepter game without a doubt versus the Lunar as well. So would you like to see him kind of rush it, or do you agree with the Glimmer Cape?
Another smoke caught out by this Observer Ward. So will they be able to set up around the high ground once again? This time around, Skidder's going to be there. Amar's making sure not to make his move towards the jungle and make it a little bit too obvious, and I'm sure that's what he was communicating to the rest of his team. Nice wards that have yet to be dewarded at this point. Skidder would love his level 12 as well, but just not quite there yet. Sets up the banner. Who needs Roshan's banner? Gonna look to push in. I mean, I don't hate this push by any means, right? They don't have a glyph. Again, looking to try and take away a lot of the map from the greedier BB team roster.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I'll get it.
Dire's middle
Fight to be had.
tower has fallen.
Just the vision game around the mid lane, giving them a lot of information from Falcons. And they have 5 wards currently set up across the map. Now a tier 2 tower to add.
Looks like Amara is pretty hell-bent on going for this Ags rush as well. I was wondering if he would consider going the Crimson Guard, especially considering the heroes that he's up against this game. Just because, you know, Wind Ranger, Slardar feels like it would be incredibly impactful considering how much strength he's already got just from his innate gain plus the braces. Try and hunt for Miro here, but not be able to find him just yet. They're looking to try and get a quick pick off and use that to convert into Roshan. They should be able to take it very quickly, but just dodging out right now. BB team.
Do you agree with these towers going undefended for BB team?
This is what I'm talking about when I was talking about their greed, though, right? Like, they just can't fight into it right now. They've got all of their tools to be able to take effective team fights now on Falcons, but you need these BKBs on BB team to be able to even consider contesting into it. They're very close on all 3 of their cores, probably only about 1,000-ish gold away on each of them, but you know, again, you're still a good amount of time away, so probably not going to be able to do anything for at least the next 3 minutes or so.
So do you just walk into Roshan? Do you feel Falcon? If there's your BB team, you have showcase they do not want to take fights, you're just looking towards the pit?
You could potentially do that, or you could just look to get even more aggressive, right? Just force a fight. Say, hey, BB team, if you don't have the capabilities to do so, if you're not defending tier 2 towers, it's for a reason. And, you know, do you want to just go and take Roshan, which might take you, let's say, a minute? If that gives them time to be able to get into these timings where the Aegis isn't actually going to be fully beneficial to you.
Okay.
Right now,
So they are
Save just
continuing.
hanging out behind GPK, basically acting as that extra little bit of save himself with the, like you mentioned, the Aghanim Shard on the Inkswell.
They get the blink away.
He is in
The
there.
vision. Yeah, they got him. Nighttime vision from Skidder. Going to be able to scout out the Dragon Knight. And the kill they were waiting for is onto a big one. And yeah, they're going to go straight across the map. They've still got these wards. The one behind the T2 tower is still up for another 30 seconds. So maybe a kill to be had on to save.
Mallory's got a haste rune as well. They know that Save is hanging around this area. I'm not sure if that's the target that they want, or if they're going to be happy and saying, look, he has the potential to be a big part of their win condition, so let's just take him out while we can. And there's that haste that I was talking about, hunting for more. Maybe just, you know, BB team thinking that they've got a certain amount of time to be able to make the save. Blind stun, not quite.
Then maybe now, unless they want to go through the portal, maybe now they feel like the kills gives them enough of a window to go into Roshan, especially with pushing BB team back into their side of the map. So with how long it might take, you're not going to be able to get that much of an economic advantage by all the farm. I mean, they're even going to use the boat as well to help out a little bit.
With the cannonballs, don't forget.
Yeah, I mean, you see how scared they are at the moment. No one showing, but BB team just a couple people inside the base and just huddled up together.
You see what they're able to do, right? In that time, you've got now a BKB on Miero, you've got a BKB on Psycho, you're still working on it for GPK. Obviously, that death, he didn't buy up the recipe previously, so used all of that. He lost about 200 gold as a result of it. So it's going to delay it out a little bit further, but they're still feeling confident enough to be able to take the fight, especially with this amp damage rune that Psycho's just been able to claim.
And they did scan the move through the portal, so they're already starting to move to bottom. Currently, Melrine is not with the team. They're going to be forced to jump him, however.
Skitter, they found him.
Pops the smoke. Let's see if they're going to be able to catch up. We'll try and go through, but that's not the case. He needs to stand his ground. But there's the BKB coming to play. The Eclipse completely wasted. And are they going to be in a position where they need to take the team fight? Skeeter, there's nothing he can do to stand his ground off the back of the respawn. Amar's going to try and run to the middle. Melrine's coming through the portal as well. Gets the Burrow Strike onto 2. It's a lot of damage onto Psycho with the Wind Ranger. Tries to get it over to the right side. Psycho is able to reposition. They'll keep him alive momentarily. And now Melrine and Amar, they are stuck inside the middle. It's another team fight with a Tombstone going the max duration. Crit is about to respawn. Amar standing strong. GPK looking to try and jump over the top. Amar's going to solo kill Toronto Tokyo down, but as he got the damage by himself, Toronto Tokyo steps into the tree line. Amar, I mean, he's making
the cleave
for man. This dude is so hard to kill, but he might even get Miero as well. The torrent, it's just shy. Miero steps away to the right side. They scouted out Melrine inside the lane, but GPK just off the mark with the blink, and a very messy team fight, but it does look like it's going to go the way of BB team, even though Falcons had the Aegis advantage.
This is what I'm talking about, right, though? Like, just that amount of time where you're not pushing your advantage when you know that they can't fight. A BKB on Miero completely turned that around. You know, if he's not there, you don't have the damage to be able to take out Skitter twice. You don't have the damage to be able to even kill the Kunkka at the very end. You saw how tanky that Amar was throughout all of that. So, you know, again, it just comes down to that decision of what was actually worthwhile. Is it worth spending that amount of time, even dropping the boat, to be able to take Roshan quickly if it meant they were able to hit into these item timings? And off the back of that, now GPK's got his BKB too.
Yeah, didn't die in that fight. 1,300 gold picked up for the Dragon Knight. Now, but there's Sanjin Yasha being queued up. So you're now in a position where you can go back and find the Tormentor. Experience is also incredibly valuable. The fact that Miero has 2 points in the Corrosive Haze. And this is going to be shards on either side. Toronto Tokyo is going to be able to get his own. So you have the bunker and the tombstone. And Crit is also able to get the boomerang for the hoodwink.
Is that what it's called now? Is it called bunker in? It's not grab ally anymore?
I think it's still... I don't know. It just says tombstone. I don't know.
What are you going for? He's looking to finish up a pipe, I think, on Toronto Tokyo. Just a 50 gold away from that Ring of Tarask, which is going to be very, very effective. Nullifying a lot of the damage coming through from the Sand King.
Are we now at the stage where the tides kind of turn into BB team's favor, where you have the BKBs and you're still without the Crimson Guard on Amar?
Would you say the bounce back team yet? No, I would say so, just because, again, they've hit these timings. They've got a big one in the pipe now as well. You're getting a bunch of levels as well on like Grimstroke, so you've even got a lower Inkswell cooldown. You could probably get 2 off in a lot of these fights. Psyker, he's even finished up the clip here.
Oh, they're going to be able to
Good
get
start.
the for the Sand King starts and look at the damage output with the drag back into the snowball. It'll buy him some time.
No BKB.
And the team is going to be able to turn it around. Skeeter drops the Eclipse, but Psyker's into the middle with the Ring Ranger. AoE damage, they're not going to be able to respond. Psyker will get rid of Melry. Now they'll turn to Amar. We saw how tanky Amar was previously, but that's not going to be the case inside this team fight. Torrent on his dying breath, maybe
glaives,
gives
though.
Skeeter an opportunity to turn it, but the glaives from Skeeter, they'll go for Toronto Tokyo next. And what was looking like a good start for BB team, we see the power of Skeeter along with Snake King's drinking buddies.
Anyone that's watched Star Wars knows that a high ground advantage means everything, and they had it. They had the Observer Ward up there on the high ground. They had that mischance that anyone that was looking to go up into it was not going to get the advantage, and it was a really nice use of the drinking buddies as well from Snake King, just to give that little bit of a reprieve when they were looking to try and commit that little bit deeper into the team fight. So, I mean, it was that on top of the fact that GPK wasn't able to pop the BKB until he was at like 20%, so he was pretty much just dead at that point. Maybe a slight difference with Save holding the Inkswell a little bit longer, just for that strong Dispel could have been a difference maker.
And they are continuing to push it very aggressively out of the map though on Falcons. Mid shoved out, top shoved out, taking away a lot of the jungle farm as well from BB team. It's got the making to be a very exciting mid to late game as well. 15 to 15, 2,000 net worth lead for Falcons.
Wasn't scary though, like it really does feel like a lot of these team fights can just go either way. It really depends on the start to a lot of these engagements, and even just really good micro movements there from Skitter with his illusions, revealing the fact that you had 5 BB team members clumping up, the best buddies squad coming through there, and you don't do that unless you're looking to try and make a smoke in the next little bit, or if you're anticipating a smoke to come from the enemy team. That's why they placed down the defensive observer ward, and they were ready to go, but clearly Falcons not feeling confident enough to walk up into that until they feel like they might have dispersed. Now the smoke comes, and now they're looking to try and find that quick pickoff.
Melry not grouped together though on BB team. Melry gets a jump over the top, so they'll initiate onto 2 members simultaneously. Psyker, the BKB into the TP out very close to getting the punch.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay. Did have to use the BKB though to be able to defend that, so I wonder if that's going to be enough for them to just say, you know what, we can just look to commit into these fights. You also got a shield room from Melrine as well, so it's already really hard to kill a Sand King. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have much in the form of spell lifesteal yet.
Double stun from Miro with the jump in as well.
What are they doing
Was
there?
at the ready of Snake King's going to be able to get close to Skitter to protect him. Melry with the counter initiation as well, creating chaos inside the middle of the team fight. The Epicenter's going to force them away, so they won't be able to continue to chase and kill up the Falcon
That no
members.
BKB.
I mean, they made the attempt, but Falcons, they were ready, everyone nearby, to jump back in to protect Skeeter. And it's going to cost them multiple heroes' lives as Crit. He's now the vulnerable hero. As BB team are able to buy back, but Skeeter going uncontested. Locks onto Miero. Can they get a little bit of control though? Tries to step away with the Glimmer Cape. It looks like he's okay, but Save puts his body on the line. So another kind of messy fight. 3 for 3, no real big winners.
Yeah, big even trade when it comes down to it. And I was thinking, you know, Falcons, they're a little bit deep there, especially considering, you know, if they weren't going for a smoke, it's probably because of that defensive setup. So they should have known that they had that vision up on the high ground, but you know, just being able to get out of dodge there with a pretty quick rotation coming through from Snake King to be able to provide a lot of safety to the rest of the team. You just see all the damage coming out though. There was 8,000 damage done by Luna in that past fight, and I think that was pre-Kanda at that stage. Maybe he had it at that point, but pre-level 20 for sure. So now he's going to look to work on just a little bit of that defensive tools like the Lincolns to make sure that you're not getting, you know, Blink Shackle shotted, Blink Dragon tailed, all this other sort of stuff that's going to, you know, put him in a dangerous spot and make sure that he doesn't have that Lunar Orbit activated. Still so much potential for scaling as well for Skitter, isn't there? Like, he could go a BKB, he could go a Satanic, he could go, maybe not the Butterfly, considering Wind Ranger could just very easily go the MKB, but still feels very, very scary to have to consider the super late game Luna.
Smoke from BB team.
High ground again.
Snaking again. Smoker's not pop, but I believe they saw the observer get dropped down, so they're going to be able to reposition accordingly. They're starting to huddle together as 5, so Falcons are ready to bring the fight to the smoke team on Dial.
This is the Roche fight. Like, whoever wins this one will be able to secure Roshan the second one for themselves and enable
not the illusion
high
bait.
ground siege. They won't take it. Oh, yes, they will.
Gonna drop the awkward ward too. Okay.
Melrin. Go straight back
Force
out.
some reactions. Poke and prod. See if they can see some of the supports in the backline. Maybe give an opportunity. GPK wants to go back in. Nice force stock. Just gets out of the crush range. They're going to be okay. Tombstone is layered down in the middle of the team fight as well. It's going to give BB Team a little bit of area control, but Toronto Toko stuck inside the shards, and it doesn't seem like there's much Dai can do to protect him. He's making it work for the kill. GPK still wants to go back into the middle with a jump on the crit, trying to deal with the
Blew him up.
They're onto Skeeter as well. Skeeter is able to stand his ground. Dyer need to try and get over towards the Luna, but the Luna's just got way too much net worth. Finally, they'll be able to run her away. Zyker and Co standing strong. It looks like finally BB Team might even be able to get another member to Amar stuck inside the trees. That great use of the Observer Ward prior will come into play now, so they'll get a kill onto the trying to escape on the Conqueror Amar.
Hold on, you were hating that ward a little while ago. You called it off.
Come on, dude.
It was exactly as planned, exactly as planned. I was a little anxious about Falcons continuing to try and go for that poke and prod strategy because at that point Skitter was like level 19 and a half. If he's level 20, that's a very different deal, right? You can just use those loosened beams from afar. You can look to try and, you know, get those glaives bouncing around, reveal a little bit of information about where they might be hanging around in the tree line, and they were able to just absolutely explode Melrin in that engagement.
They're coming. Save's gonna see the hoodwink. Maybe you want to, let's see, if you go for Roche or commit for the fight, Skeeter should be able to get the quick burst onto Toronto Tokyo. Hype's going to be activated, Aegis claim, and they'll probably just look to get up, but the snowball will prevent that. Psyker's going to be chased down. And have you left the Wind Ranger? Snake King's going to be able to deal with him, and now you're set up off the back of the respawn. They are huddling together, surrounding her off the back of the Aegis, and Psyker's going to go down. A beyond godlike streak for Skitter. I mean, this is a 15-1-3 Luna performance, 31 minutes in.
It's very scary, like you've just committed a lot for the Aegis without having buyback on the Wind Ranger as well, and I keep saying it, you're going up against a Luna, you've got to be very, very careful about where you're taking a lot of these fights because, I mean, I'm not sure if it's being overly dramatic, but this might be an actual lane of racks that you're going to be down as a result of this. You are putting so much of your damage onto the back of the Wind Ranger, and she is in the dirt for the next 35.
And after that as well, Amar made an attempt onto Miura at the top side, and he had to use BKB to get away from the boat. So now this is kind of on cooldown, which gives you another bit, a slight advantage for Falcons.
He's just rushing up to the rest of the team as well. Came through the twin gates, so it won't be too long until he's able to join the rest of the boys. They're going to go for, they actually do go for the melee. It's going to obviously give them that Rax glyph reset, but well worth it. It's a scary part of the Luna, dude. We've seen it happen time and time again. Just one bad team fight, and this is what happens to your base.
They're still going to stick around the area. Looking to leave just yet. Tormentor is up if they want to try and claim it. The team is starting to move down. I don't know if this is just for the creep wave, though. Looks like the creeps in. Yep, Tormentor's going to go. Shard given over to Snaking. So this game is kind of blown open now. 10,000 net worth lead for Falcons. And set of items starting to be worked on. We're almost at that Bloodstone.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. Like you get the increased rate, everything just with the Bloodstone itself. You get the lifesteal component as well. He's hit up onto that level 20. So these epicenters just cover a huge portion of these team fights. Nowhere is safe.
Dire's middle tower.
Arkenru now as well. Looks like Amar's going to be the one to get it.
Oh no.
No, we're in. Apologies.
What could they look to get? Is Tormentor up? Yeah, I wouldn't hate seeing a Tormentor just being able to get a free Aghanim Shard for probably Kunkka you would be the happiest with? I guess it wouldn't be bad for the Sand King either, right? Look at how quickly they're able to just explode it.
he will get it for the Sand King. So Melrin has the shard. Bloodstone into the Wind Waker. He's even got the ceremonial robe as well. So scary times for BB team. How do you even address these fights? Like, who is that main person they need to try and bring down for the side of Dire?
Oh, it's really hard to say, to be honest. I think you've got to try and get onto Melrin again before he's able to pop everything, because if you enable him to be that counter initiation or even start the team fight on his own, he's gonna have the Shivas, he's gonna have the Bloodstone, he's gonna have all of that lifesteal coming through. I feel like you just gotta take him out of the equation. Skitter is just way too tanky to be able to take out at this point. Has pretty much double Melrin's health.
3,500 health.
They're going to use Amara's bait.
BKB Satanic.
He's very tanky.
Smoke's gonna pop, they'll get the jump. Not a bad target to blow up instantly. Melrin is with the initiation, but it's not the greatest one for him to land in the middle. Look at the damage! Psyker flexing the potential here with the focus fire, but they have blown everything and they have nothing left now to deal with Skitter. He'll get Toronto Tokyo. They want him to actually go back in. Is this a fight to be had? Tombstone's still there on the high ground. San's going to be able to prevent the spells from being used on the Tusken. Still, they're going to be able to turn it back around. Psycho in some danger with the Gleipnir. Gets some reprieve. Save turns over to him next as well. GPK continuing to put his body on the line.
Gem on the neck.
Another round of the spells coming out. GPK will need the extra assistance out of Psycho. It's not going to latch, but now with the focus fire back up, it's going to be cautious to run straight.
Blade himself.
Damage from Amar. A long should be enough to be able to chase down GPK. Amar might be able to do it by himself. A little bit off the mark there with the combo. Didn't go for the action of the torrent. In the end, is not going to matter. He kind of makes that fight not too bad for the boys on Falcons.
Dude, more than half of the damage that Psyker just took was from purely the blade mail on Amar. Like, it's crazy how much this is actually doing. And, yeah, I mean, the boat is certainly coming in handy, providing a lot of extra safety, putting Amar up on the front lines. I mean, look how tanky the man is. Nearly 4k HP. He's got the craggy coat as his neutral item as well. He just wants to be able to tank up and force BB team to expend everything that they've got. You saw how effective they were in that, you know, 5 to 10 seconds, but once that's done, they've got very little left.
Take a look at that fight back again. Great target to be able to blow up. I mean, you get rid of the hoodwink, off issue some burst, potentially with a sharpshooter if that connects, and yeah, it's just... You're gone, but
you see, look at the full retreat.
Skeeter.
The full retreat. Like, the BKBs have like 2-3 seconds left. They're like, let's get the hell out of there. And maybe they were thinking that they could continue fighting around this tombstone, understandably, because Psyker is still incredibly
If we go back live, GPK picking up their damage, going to be able to jump the Snake King task. Another pick off onto a support. Just stuff you were saying, like, this are the heroes that BB team want to be jumping.
I mean, yeah, if they can get crit or snaking without having to use the BKB, that is the dream, right? You can force an uneven fight, and then you can still save those things for, you know, the actual heroes that you're looking to try and take out. I'd say Melrin's probably well worth committing a BKB for as well, just because of his potential damage output.
Dying. That's crazy.
I mean, now you've got an additional, what, 12 armor from the Dragon's Blood, level 25 on the DK. I was considering if he would go like an AoE Elder Dragon form. Wouldn't be the worst by any stretch of the imagination, especially considering you only have a BKB on the Luna, right? So it's not going to be something that's very easily dodgeable.
And poor save is just getting no farm at all. You brought up the question earlier if you would just like a rush of the Scepter. He went Blink, Glimmer Cape. Would you prefer the Scepter instead of these two items?
No, not necessarily. I feel like they do have enough potential to be able to like dive in onto you, and you've seen that Falcons have no issues with committing heavily into the middle of a team fight, right? So most of the time they're going to go for like some blind stun and find him. So I feel like it's really important that he stays that far back so that just doesn't happen. Okay. He's looking to try and do anything he can just to get any farm here in the jungle, but you got to be so cautious of how long you actually do look to stick around.
I didn't check. Who got the gold as...
The plus armor from the Defiant Shell just wants to live for as long as possible.
was just checking who got the gold for the kill onto the Luna. It was a DK, so probably a big reason why he just got that Bloodthorn and decent chunk towards the Satanic as well. What's the probability? Sitting at 62% for Falcons currently, and we do have the potential of Roche to be up in a couple of seconds. We'll see if it's a long spawn. It's a relatively quick one, 55 seconds.
Even with all this damage, though, it shouldn't be a fight that's contested up top. It should be moving down towards the bottom side, so I mean, it just comes down to one of these things where do you actually guess the fact, like, do you play the probability, play the odds as to, you know, we need to take the fight down bottom because it's much more likely to be down there. Do you look to set yourself up early, or is it about just slowly walking out and trying to find a pick-off before the Roche fight even happens?
They're looking to come out and maybe set themselves up.
Yeah, he's got the Ceaseless Dirge available, so knows that he'll have that instant respawn and be able to TP to the outpost if he absolutely needs to. Seems like
it's like maybe they made the call to go bottom.
Yep. Seemed like that bottom lane is also pushing in a little bit too much for GPK's liking. He's going to look to try and address that. They're going to be right there as it respawns as well. Now they see it. Are they going to commit for it? They've got 15 seconds to be able to take this out, and I'm not sure they've got the ability. Yeah. So much rather set up here. They should see that they've got the gem on the Undying as well, so there's no real point in setting up wards in the lane. That's why Snake King's getting this high ground ward set up first. And their formation is actually pretty decent. I mean, Skir is tanky as hell, and he's got the boys to be able to save him. So he'll be the one to go in first.
And a lot of the time it's been BB team to start these initiations.
They saw Toronto Tokyo briefly. Full wraparound. Watcher is going to be able to quickly claim it, just taking away any sort of vision. At this stage, information wins team fights. Try and take out that Grimstroke if they can. There's the blind jump.
Forest Strike onto 2. Importantly, it's going to be the Wind Ranger as well. Can they blow up before the BKB? Psych is in some danger. Activates at the last second. Now tries to turn back to full health thanks to the Satanic. But Skeeter, he has his own Satanic as well to be able to stand his ground. Now they've been able to catch up to the Wind Ranger. There's no escape. Once the golden protection expires, you are not running away. GPK caught inside the lane. They're going to do whatever they can to turn the tides, but it will not matter. Wind Ranger gone. You've got no damage left. And it's Falcons that are going to be able to come out on top inside this team fight. It'll be 4 kills to go their way. They might just walk it down. There's 2 heroes without buybacks.
There's 2 heroes without buyback. There's already a lane of racks that's been taken. Just go for the throne. They have the Glyph of Fortification to be able to do it, and like you said, once those BKBs go away, there is very little reprieve for BB team. That time around was probably the only bad tombstone that we've seen from Toronto Tokyo, not getting a full understanding of where exactly the team fight would be taking place, so we didn't get that additional benefit, and I mean, full buybacks needing to be expended for this. I don't think they're really going to care all that much.
And let's see if they care.
Oh, save.
I hope Philly's got a buyback, which he does. 25 seconds they need to the Wind Rangers back alive. GPK is going to try and
they found save again.
A couple seconds, but that's an instant dieback, and they've also got the catch onto GPK as well. So it's going to be Falcons that take game 1. It took quite a while, but what a performance from Skeeter. 20 and 2 from this Luna. That is just an exceptional showing from him. Of course, everyone else